I was dating this girl, very successful, very smart, and she was like, don't buy another Rolex. And I was like, oh, but I really want it. Yellow gold, champagne, baguettes, blah, blah, blah. She was like, no. And I'm like, why? And she goes, it's fiscally irresponsible. I'm like, dude, I $1 million a week.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean irresponsible?
You still with her?
No, God. She's lesbian now.
Because of you or?
No, not because of me.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she called me one day and was like, I figured out why we didn't work out. I was like, oh. She's like, I'm a lesbian. I was like,
All right, welcome back to the Digital Social Hour. I'm your host, Sean Kelly, along with my co-host, Ari Gold.
What's going on?
And our guest today, Brandon Bowsky. How we doing?
Big Bowsky, how we living, Bubba?
chilling, baby. Life's good.
Ooh, listen to that raspiness. I saw this man out last night, and let me tell you, this guy knows how to get down. But, for everyone that knows how to party, they know how to work hard and play hard. So tell us, man. Tell us what you do. Give people the background, and tell us how you got started in the space.
So got started, well, right now, I own marketing companies, probably my main thing that I'm known for. So we do 9 figures in health insurance marketing a year. That's like the main bread and butter.
Nice.
But before that, I was in the insurance business, and I had an agency that I built from like 38 people to over 300, including offshore. And went to my bosses. I built this insurance product, and I was like, yo, we're going to make a couple extra mil this quarter. I want 200 grand more this year. And they were like,
No. Absolutely no.
and I was like, I made you guys so many millions of dollars.
They don't give a
They
shit.
did not care. Yeah.
Right.
They were like, you can have 100 grand. And I was like, F you.
So that's when
So-
you decided to start your own thing.
Yeah. So left, did my own thing, started with 6 people. I mean, when the guy who lent me the money to start it came to the office for the first time, he was like, well, at least I know you didn't run off fucking Caymans or something.
There you go.
And I was like, yeah, I didn't do that. He's like, so I'm never getting my money back, am I? And I had like my pants moment where I was like, oh, I better get to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, we grew. I did really well. And then the way I got into the marketing side was I wanted to buy a watch, and I had like an iced out Rolex at the time.
Mhm.
I've always like thought watches were cool. I was a smartwatch guy for years because I had no money. And then
It's
Yeah.
a journey.
it definitely
It's a
started with
journey.
one, but
The watch game is a journey, dude. I feel like it's like collecting cars. Like you just gotta know.
oh, 100%.
And nobody really teaches you. You just gotta
Yeah.
you learn along
by
the way.
getting a couple times.
100%.
You overpay a couple times and you never want to do it again.
I'm glad he said it.
Yep.
We've all been.
Yeah.
It's again, lessons we learn.
Yeah.
But as
and
long as we
eventually
learn.
you figured just put the lube on first.
Sure.
So, I was dating this girl, very successful, very smart, and she was like, don't buy another Rolex. I wanted to buy a Prezi like you're wearing.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, but I really want it. Yellow gold, champagne, baguettes, blah, blah, blah. She was like, no. And I'm like, why? And she goes, it's fiscally irresponsible. I'm like, dude, I $1 million in a week.
Mhm.
What do you mean irresponsible? And she was like, Brandon, it's irresponsible.
Were you icing him down? Like what? Why was it irresponsible? I don't
No.
understand.
There was no good reason. It was a 34K at the time. Would have went up to 50. I would have.
Fuck yeah, what the
I would have printed.
If it's bone stock,
So,
why is that? It's like the same thing as buying a bar of gold, except it appreciates 10 times faster.
Type of girl with millions of dollars that flew coach everywhere. Just
Yeah.
ridiculous. Amazing human being.
Karen.
Brilliant though.
Shout out to Karen.
You still with her?
No, God. she's lesbian now.
Can't be that amazing.
Yeah, dude.
Because of you or?
No, not because of me.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she called me one day and was like, I figured out why we didn't work out. I was like, oh. She's like, I'm a lesbian. I was like, I feel way better about myself.
Oh, the plot.
So anyway, I wanted to buy this watch, and I was like, dude, she's guilt tripping me hard. Like, I don't know. And I'm Jewish, bro. We succumb to guilt. Jewish guilt.
Jewish guilt. That's
So,
why it's literally called that.
I was like, all right, if I want to buy a watch and I make some money on the side, you can't get mad.
Yeah.
So I started like figuring out the way that I was successful in the insurance business was we focused on like really high tickets. Everybody else focused on low tickets.
Okay.
So people were going for like volume of $200 deals, but the acquisition cost didn't change based on how much the deal size was.
You were going for quality over
So
quantity.
I was going for $500 deals where I was making 3-4 times the money,
Right.
and my acquisition costs weren't any different.
Right.
So I was printing and I had no partners. So I was like, okay, well, my guys hang up on these low volume deals, or
Mhm.
rather these low price deals. So I was like, all right, I'm going to sell these to my friends, and then they're going to pay me, and I'm going to take that money and I'm going to go to Vegas. And I'm going to buy the fucking watch I want. I'm going to have a good time at this next conference, blah, blah, blah. So I did. It started off like 2-3 grand a week. Then it was like 5, then it was like 10, then it was like 100 grand a week in profit. I'm like, holy, it's a real business.
Mm-hmm.
And then, COVID happened. We shut down ops. I had a Medicare agency that we sold to a private equity firm, pretty big one. And then after that, I was like, all right, now what?
Right.
And I kept trying different shit. Like I tried a male and female enhancement gummy product. I tried a biohacking gym. I like burned a few $1 million trying like 10 different things.
That's how it goes.
You know, it goes to show you know how it is, but a lot of people don't see that. They see the highlight reel.
Oh my God.
They see the private jets. They see the watches. They see
Sean, you want to talk about some of our investments in the past 2 years?
Like
me,
you
dude.
take some L's, but nobody ever hears about the L's. I talk about them a lot.
It's a learning curve. I feel like in every industry to become great, you really just have to go through the bullshit first and learn. Nobody can teach you. Nobody can teach.
Yeah.
It's really difficult. I mean, let me rephrase that. There are some guys that are just super receptive to learning from, a mentor and just, figuring it out on their own. I just feel like most entrepreneurs that I know, guys like us that are sitting here, you really just got to fend for your own and,
Just go do it.
you just got to figure out how to kill.
Nike, baby.
That's it, dude. That's it.
So, yeah, eventually I woke up in like a cold sweat. My ex-girlfriend's like tiny shoebox apartment in New York. And when I say like tiny shoebox, her bedroom was the size of our sitting area here. Yeah. And I had an anxiety from that just to begin with. So I woke up and it's like 3 a.m. I had a flight at 6. And I was like, dude, I'm not feeling this right now. I don't know what's going on in my life. I used to make a lot of money. Now I'm just like living on this, like, dude, I wasn't crying poverty. I was still making $1 million, $2 million.
You were on cruise control. You were
I
bored.
wasn't working.
You were bored.
And I was like, man, I got to get back to work.
Right.
And so we took the company from like 5 million to 13 pretty quick. And then we did 70 this year. We're tracking.
Let's backtrack there.
120.
Let's backtrack there. Talk us through that process. Talk us through those next 72 hours of that next month of those next 6 months. After that, after you woke up and you're like, you know what? This.
Yeah, nonstop work. Just being like, all right.
Explain that to people, because when you say nonstop work, I'm not talking nonstop
on
work
the
and then
phone,
Saturday and Sunday you're
sitting
partying.
on the phone 18 hours a day. There was no partying. There was
Tell
no
'em.
drinking. There was gym as much as you possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
It was just feel good, look good, eat the best you can.
Sure.
Spend time with people that add value to your life, not people that take away from it. And it was just nonstop on the phone, trying to put together decent sized deals or, deal flow in general to make money in the future. And in the marketing space, it's as easy as just being like, yo, I have a product. Do you want it?
Right.
But you have to say that to 1,000 people for them to,
Right.
somebody to be like, yeah, I want that thing. Or, you have to have a really, really good product, which we were fortunate to.
And on that 70 million, what's the profit on that?
I won't talk about that.
Okay.
I say to people all the time, like the hardest part about my job is I have to be really, really nice, really, really friendly, really, really generous. And I have to be such a great person that you have to like me so much that you have to be okay with me becoming really, really rich. Because everybody I work with obviously all makes great money.
I love that.
But I have to make you comfortable with me making more money than you. And a lot of people cannot stomach that.
Right.
A lot of people have like a jealousy problem. And like at the end of the day,
Ego. It's ego, bro.
It perfectly is.
It's ego.
And I like to build real relationships. I'm not just like saying this where I'm like, oh, I try to make people feel good. Like, no, my job is really just to become such good friends with people I make money with that they're okay with me getting rich.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't want the other person making money. There's always multiple parties in a deal. And some people don't want everyone to win. I'm a guy where everybody has to win.
You listen, and I feel like that really goes back to what we were talking about earlier. And it's just about surrounding yourself with people, like you just said, surrounding yourself with people that provide value and make your quality of life easier, not take away from it.
Yep.
And when you start surrounding yourselves with teams or groups that not only are looking out for each other or have their best interests, it's like, when Sean calls me and he'll ask me for a favor, like, hey, can you set up something for me? I'm not even thinking in the back of my head, like of an ulterior motive of like, oh, I'm going to get him this and now I'm getting that. Back of my head, it's like, oh, my homie needs this. There, I got the plug for it. Here you go.
Yep.
And he'll keep asking and I'll keep giving and giving because I know that. No. But I'm saying, but I'm saying
one day you're going to need something.
But exactly. It's like, you can ask, 10 times over the year. And then that one time that I need something, I already know automatically. It's like,
yeah, I got you.
Bro, what? It's not even a question. I don't even have to think about it. So it's like, when you put yourselves in situations like that and you surround yourself with people, I don't want to sound soft and sound like, allow your guard to let down, but you allow more ease of access for people around you to be uplifted by what you're doing, because it's less like, when you're in school and you're, like looking over like who's cheating. It's like, here guys, you see this? This is what we got going on. This is the formula. Who's in? You in? You in? All right, cool. Let's follow it. Oh, you got something to add to it? Do you think this is going to make it better? All right, guys, he said it's going to make it better. Come here. Come look at this. Here's what we're going to do. You start game planning things out and delegating. That was one of the best things that I found out in my business was that I was trying to take over too much control of every aspect, and I was trying to have my hand in every person's pot, thinking that like maybe I knew something better or could do it better, or
And you might have been able to, dude.
I might have, but the quality of life was so poor,
Dude,
and the stress that I was adding on top of my employees, it was like, having your teacher look over your shoulder while
you
you're trying to write an essay.
parent to your business.
100%. And once I learned how to like give more power back to my employees and allow them the ability to grow and learn on their own and like make mistakes, like, yeah, you f***ed up, it's okay. You didn't blow the account. You didn't, you know what I'm saying? As long as it was something that could be moderately, attended to and fixed, I don't have a problem with it. I want you to make mistakes and learn and be able to build, but you have to really attract positive people and surround yourself with people like that, because they're hard to find,
100%.
few and far between.
Yeah, team is everything.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity last year to sell quite a lot of my company for way more money than I'd ever need. And one of the biggest problems with it for me was my team was going to get dismantled. And I've got a lot of tech stuff that I'm working on, a lot of AI stuff that I'm working on. And it was like, if I lose my team, I'm
right,
because I have like the dream team.
You build
Everybody
relationships
knows
with
it.
everybody.
Everybody in my business knows it.
They're family.
Like,
It's not employees, it's family.
dude.
Right.
It's beyond family.
Right.
It's like family, military, blood, sweat. We all carry each other.
Right.
Like one of my newer guys on the team was explaining like the work life, and he was like, it's like being in a family where if you don't do something, your brother's gonna have to, so you get it done.
Right.
And that was like the greatest compliment I've ever received. But that was kind of the turning point for me. Was I was like, whoa, if I sell right now, and that'd be sick, but if I sell and I lose my team, what am I gonna do? Who's gonna help me with this next thing and these next projects? Like, is it worth it? And I realized, like, no, actually, like, you give me an extra, $75, $100 million, isn't gonna really change anything.
Right.
I mean, it obviously life changing.
It'll change,
It's
but
changing.
at the same time, you have to see
Like,
the value that
right.
you have around you already.
Right. What am I gonna do differently?
It's like the
tomorrow
grass
with
is
that much
greener.
money?
You know what I
There
mean?
really isn't
Right.
anything I already can do everything I want.
Right.
So at that point, it's like, what am I going to do differently that's going to make it worth it to lose my team and lose the potential future momentum of these new projects?
Right.
Right.
So just had to like fall back off that. And that was a huge thing to stomach. And that was around the time where I was like, in exact same shoes, I'm going to delegate more. I'm going to let other people do their jobs. I'm going to stop trying to be on every call.
Right.
I'm going to get on where it's important. And
Make yourself less accessible. It was the best thing I ever did.
Changer.
Best thing I ever did.
Changer.
Now people can't wait for me to get. Oh my God, Ari's on the call.
Dude,
Okay, here we go.
yeah.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, it's like we got our CEO on the call. We got our CEO
like, hey everybody, how we
Yeah.
doing? Like,
Dude, I take
What's
my call
up?
shirtless. I got like my fucking traps
Dude,
coming out.
I love it. I swear to God, the best thing I
Collarbones
could do.
scar.
Yeah, but like the best thing that I could have done was make myself more inaccessible. And I didn't realize that I was really just making it. I wasn't gatekeeping per se, but it was just like, you got to watch, like you said, and everybody has that fucking watch. Nobody really wants to watch at the end of the day.
Yep.
But there are those 1 of 1s or 1 of 10s or 1 of 20s. That's on everybody's grail list. It's kind of like people, dude. There's people in this world like Elon Musk. You're not seeing him in every fucking room. But when you see him pop up in a room, you're like, here we go. Let's see what this is about. It piques
By the way,
curiosity.
next time you're in one of those rooms, just let me know.
I got you. Oh, I got you.
There's not many humans that I have like idol level respect for.
Yeah.
That's the goal right there.
I do want to dive into the topic of AI and kind of what you're focusing on now, because like you just kind of tapped on, you obviously have things in your mind that are coming up next and that you're, genuinely curious about or that you want to invest in. Talk us through, what you see for AI and what the next steps in your business is going to be like.
So for us, we sell phone calls. That's the majority of what we do, right?
Sure.
So we get somebody to call about a product or service. They speak to somebody, they purchase it. With that call comes a ton of data.
Mhm.
We have conversational data. We have all types of analytics and intelligence on geos, ages, genders. I mean, you name it. Tons of data points. And we look at all that stuff and we say, okay, how can we create a better model for qualifying prospects? Because right now you have tons of call centers that exist offshore, onshore, and their whole job is to qualify a person and then transfer them to an agent that's then going to qualify them again. It's completely broken. And if you've ever been like called about something, cold called, and then gotten transferred, you've been asked the same question twice.
Yeah.
Like none of that data is ever posted. It's not a seamless or fluid experience.
Right.
It's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There's no integration system that kind of stores
Right.
it all
Nobody really
together.
does a good job.
Right.
And so what we
Except
built
for you.
was, well, soon. What we built was a conversational AI product that works on text, chat, email, and voice.
Mhm.
It's
And
just gathering data and
yeah, so I'll ask you questions,
Mhm.
but it's backed by one, the data that we already have, and two, large language models behind it.
Sure.
So the GPTs of the world.
Of course.
But we can ask questions like, "What's your annual income?" And if you go, "I don't know," I can say, "Okay."
It has a good response
It
for
will
it.
say, "Well, how much do you make a week?" And if you go, "Well, I make $100 or $1,000 bi-weekly," it'll say, "Okay, so you make 26,000 a year. Is that right?" It does the math.
Wow.
It'll ask you where your zip code is. It'll confirm the city. Like
Mhm.
Wow.
it's just taking everything to the next level,
making it
making
easier.
sure it's done right. So when it gets to an agent, that data's already been posted to their CRM or their dialer, whatever they're using, and they're able to just go do their job.
Wow.
And what's better about it
Ease
is
of integration.
if
That's
you
what I
look
was
at
talking about,
humans,
man.
you look at offshore
That's it.
humans, a lot of people pay like $6 to $8 for an offshore human. Obviously, those that know you can get them for like $4, $3, whatever, but they're going to be quality is garbage.
Right.
So, if you assume that an onshore guy, somebody here in an office, is going to be $15 minimum an hour, with payroll taxes, we're out the door for almost $4,000 a month. I'm charging $1,000 a month for this product for a 40-hour week, guaranteed uptime, one-to-one calling, texting, chat, etc. And you just add another agent if you need another agent.
Wow.
So the goal is to replace those like low skill and entry level jobs,
Mhm.
and then we're taking a percentage of our profit and we're actually putting it into a fund, and we're going to scholarship for people that have had low wage or like low skill jobs for multiple years, so that they can be entered into a raffle or a lottery for all intents and purposes, so that they can go pursue whatever the next thing is, whether it's being like an esthetician, a mechanic, some type of
Educational
skill or
fund,
trade.
essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The goal is to
The goal is to better yourself to become
to give people the opportunity
self-dependent
to
or-
become more.
right. Okay.
Rather than having like a
I love
mundane,
that.
terrible existence, to actually go be
what gave
they
you
wanna
what gave
be.
you what gave you that idea to start that initiative? I'm curious.
Honestly, I just thought there was going to be a lot of backlash.
Okay.
And I thought about
Why?
the people that have worked for me over the years. And, during COVID, I don't talk about this to a lot of people.
Mhm.
I bled through like $2 million in 4 months keeping people employed
Sure.
in a market where nobody was spending money.
Mm.
Grant Cardone fired his entire staff. And I was asked to go hang
Dude,
out with
I
him on a
bled through-
Tuesday. And I was like,
Fuck no. I bled through all my.
I lost
Ugh.
a lot of my net worth over that. And when I finally did have to make cuts and we did have to shut down ops, you know what I learned? Nobody really gave a
Nope.
They still thought I was a prick. And I'm sitting here
Yep.
like, you don't know what I did
Yep.
for you.
Yep.
Like, you have
yep.
no respect for that
Right.
because people don't care. It's what have you done for me lately? And that was a great learning lesson for me.
It wasn't what you do for me. What you did for me yesterday. It's what are you doing for me today?
Exactly. And so I started thinking about all the jobs that I've had to like get rid of that I could have automated. And I was like, man, these people always had like dreams and ambitions and aspirations. They just had like a crappy job and no like means, because saving money when you have a low skill, low wage job, not very easy. So to save for that next thing versus saving for like your kid's Christmas gift, which one are you going to, unfortunately, you're going to prioritize the kid probably, and I mean, maybe not, unfortunately, you're a good parent. So that's one component. The other is customer service. So you can provide us with, brochures, customer service experiences via either phone calls or emails. And then we can clone a customer service agent that
Wow.
can kind of do a lot of the lower level customer service work.
Sure.
Obviously,
Entry
if
level.
somebody's pissed, screaming, cursing, that's
Let
gonna
me
be
transfer you
de-escalating.
to
Exactly. And there's
somebody
gonna
that can
be-
calm you the down, lady.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But exact same pricing. And that's, again, like a 75% reduction in cost. And, AI is
Still
getting
over
to the
time,
point
it
where
adds
it's
up.
getting to
Right.
be really good.
Right.
Oh, I mean, immediately, some of these businesses have like 1,000 representatives. I
Right.
mean, we're talking like saving them millions of dollars a month.
Easily.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, that's currently my goal. That's my main focus. We also built a compliance product, so that one can help businesses ensure that their representatives, salespeople, whoever, marketers are adhering to whatever guidelines they have. So we analyze the calls, we see if there's any red flags or orange flags, yellow flags.
Sean and I
whatever.
got plenty of people to introduce you to,
Yeah,
man. Hope
so-
you got a great feedback program.
Yeah, no, that call compliant product is great. That's coming out in just actually a couple weeks. The other product is about a month out. Call comply, we screen calls, we transcribe them,
Mhm.
and then we look for flags or like potential concerns or risks. So, if you're an e-commerce business, you're worried about chargebacks and customer service interactions not being done right, we'll flag for that. If you're worried about your salespeople committing fraud, we'll flag for that. If you're worried about people being lied to, we'll flag for that.
You basically just give them a
They
guideline
tell us
of their
what,
necessities.
they tell us what
right.
they want. Yeah.
And
we
you
say,
can
what are the things
build
you're worried
around
about?
it. Right.
Exactly. And then we do the work for them, white glove.
Nice.
So, and that product's really cheap. It's like 3 cents a minute. It's like nothing.
Wow.
Fascinating.
How did you find the team to build out these AI products?
Dude, you know, you just acquire people over time. I'm a big
Right.
fan of bench warmers, actually. People think it's a crazy idea, but I'll hire people that I have no use for because I don't hire based on need. I hire based on aptitude. So when people come across my desk and they're like really skilled, really intelligent, or really talented at something, I might not have a use for them today. I'll try to plug them in and see if they can add value to the existing organization. But my goal is actually to get value of them later because I see talent and I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to use you for yet, but tell me how much fucking money you want.
Right.
And I've had guys that I've paid like 500 grand that have contributed nothing to my business.
Wow.
But I know that they will contribute in the future, and then they do. And you know, sometimes I'm wrong, right? Your picker's going to be off once in a while, but
not everybody's getting a #1 draft pick to the Super Bowl. All right,
100%.
I get it.
and sometimes that guy who's like 5th round ends up being a stud, and you don't know it.
Shout out Tom Brady, 12th round, baby.
So, I mean, I just accrue people over time, and you know, most of my team are people that were service providers of mine or worked for me in some way as like a vendor, where I was like, yeah, this guy really goes above and beyond, cares. Caring is number one.
Right.
We had to talk about this the other day, like my core leadership team. It's caring that is number one. Because if you care, especially in like a sales or a biz dev environment, if you care, you're going to produce much more than everyone else.
Right.
Do you look at any college? Because I saw you dropped out of high school.
No, so we don't care. I don't care if you dropped out. I don't care if you went to school. I don't care if you have an MBA.
We don't give a
my buddy Brad Lee, who lives out here.
Yeah.
He one time.
I like Brad.
Brad's great, dude. One of the first times we were hanging out, I was at his office. I was kind of consulting him on him getting into insurance. Actually, it's going back like a while ago with his real financial project. And he's like, you know, is this shit the real deal? I was like, I mean, how the f- do you think I have money? So he was like, okay. And he said, he was asking me, he goes, you go to school? I was like, nah, I dropped out. He goes, I got 3 MBAs, a doctorate. And I'm like, really?
Sick.
And he goes, working for me. And I was like, son of a bitch. That was smooth.
Oh, that's smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Right
said
on.
that a couple times. He's funny, but it's true.
I you know what's funny is that over the years that I've been an entrepreneur, and thank God for this, because you know, obviously I feel like everybody in this room, you know, all of our parents probably instilled that, you know, whole thing. You need to go to school. You got to become, I'm Jewish, so you got to become a doctor or a lawyer to really be, and that's just how it is. And realistically, what I ended up figuring out along the way was school is not for me. It never was, and it never will be. And ironically, all the things that I went to school for, the only subjects that really fascinated me were like the side classes, where it's like sociology, psychology, human studies, like,
Dude, that's why I dropped out.
you know. And then so I'm probably like a semester away from getting my, I think it was like my master's or my bachelor's or whatever the I don't know. And I just went, you know what? I've got so many other opportunities that I can go touch. Like, if I take this diploma and I go try to work for somebody, now I'm going to be working for somebody for at least 3 to 5 years, maybe 7, to actually work my way up a chain. Past that 7, then you branch off, you create your own business, then you have another 3 to 5 of figuring out your own path. That's at least, you know, 10 to 15 years kind of down the hole. What the why not start now and just see where it lands? Worst case scenario, I, you know, go work at McDonald's and, you know, I can still pay the bills, but, you know, thank God things worked out. There's obviously lessons that you learn along the way, but I feel like it all comes back to what we said. You have to fall on face and you have to look at yourself and be like, damn, I look like an idiot. I need to step up. Or you got to have a self-realization where it's just like, bro, is this life you want for yourself? Is this what you want? Or do you want? Do you deserve better? Do you believe you deserve better? Or do you just think that you want it? There's a fine line. And when I talk to real guys that have dropped out, that it's always that one thing, like you said, they woke up one day, I don't want to be on street selling anymore. I don't want to be addicted to I don't want to be addicted to doing this and going at partying. And I don't want to be that guy that everybody's like, he's always faded. They're all of those guys that had that realization that went, I need to change. It's always a full 180. And I'm going to shout out one of my guys, shout out Kel and Ness. Him and his wife have a really crazy story where, you know, he was addicted to drugs. He got a DUI, all this, you know, up. Now every morning I wake up, his shit is the first fucking story I watch because he's on this 4 a.m. mission. 4 or 5 a.m. every fucking morning without missing a beat. 5:15 in the shower doing the cold plunge, doing his 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups at Lifetime by 6 a.m. every goddamn morning. And every morning I wake up and I feel like I look at his page, I'm like, all right, I'm getting up. I'm up. And that kind of motivation, that kind of sustainability that you can create just by encouraging people or surrounding yourselves with people that provide and add value, that's what make unbreakable human beings. Yeah. I really believe that. And I feel like being an entrepreneur, you just have to be, pressed until finally you're a nice, beautiful quality diamond. Then you're unbreakable. But, over time, it's not an overnight thing. And people see success overnight when it's really a 5, 10, 15, 20-year journey of just being relentless, man.
Yeah, I always say we're a sum of all of the experiences and interactions we've had with other people.
For sure.
And a lot of people, they see the outcome. They see the sum, but they don't see what addition went into that.
The scars, my brother, the scars.
But at 15, bro, it's funny you said that because I had skipped some grades and I was in an AP psych class and I loved psych and sociology.
That was my
love. Yeah, love.
It was the only thing I was great at.
I mean, we're fucking nerds, dude. What are you going to
do? And you know what's crazy is that I was the only person in my college's history that got an A in micro and macro economics through some teacher that was literally rated like a fucking neo-Nazi of like supremacy when it comes to being correct. But what I found out is that he was wrong all the time. Yeah. The guy was on tenure and he literally just liked to with people's head. And I was the only one that would stand there and be like, you're wrong. I'm a small business owner. You're wrong. That's not right. And he'd be like, okay, challenge me. And then I'd write out the exact solution of why he was wrong with that micro or macro business scenario. And every day he'd be like, sorry, but he couldn't kick. I wasn't doing anything wrong. It was just challenging the status quo and challenging the norms that society puts in front of you. And guys like us we choose not to accept that half the time. And that's what, people like us, when we're put in these positions, I don't want to call us pioneers, but we're really just kind of trailblazing, a new path for guys behind us that, can come up and say, you know what? He didn't go to school. He was addicted to he fucking didn't have a life. Now the guy's 35 and living like a god. Yeah. Cool.
So I went into class one day and I was always arguing with this professor because he was kind of like your guy. He was tenured. He was always wrong. And I was like, dude, what you're saying is incorrect. The book literally says this. I know that to be true. Like, this isn't right. The whole class would be like yelling at me. I thought I was eggs thrown at me.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. I'm like, no,
it's wrong.
Like, it's wrong.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
And so the guy was like, since you know everything, why don't you just quit school? You don't need to be here. And I was like,
okay.
Light bulb went off. I was like, good. See ya.
What age was this?
15.
15.
Yeah. So I went and told my grandfather I was going to do online school.
Okay.
Because my professor was an idiot. He was like, okay, cool. I'm down.
He supported this.
Yeah. I never did online school though. I got home.
That's still awesome.
Logged into one class. I was like, this.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
And then I went top 10 in the world in World of Warcraft and played a lot of other games. Had a lot of fun.
That was a fun one.
You know what's crazy is that and I am envious to this generation coming up because not only do they have it so much easier than us, bro. Oh my god. Relax. But just the fact that people or kids can literally become millionaires and create actual channels of diehard followers just off playing Minecraft or playing Fortnite, playing
unboxing a toy.
Dude, look at Aiden Ross. We just talked about him the other day. $100 million. And what is he doing? Fucking gambling every day and hanging out with cool ass celebrities. If guys like him can make it and prosper through all the that they've been through, anybody can do it. It's just all about mentality and mindset. And I'm a believer.
I lived in a car for about 6 months back in 2016. That sucked, dude.
Same.
Jeep.
Wait, you said 2016?
Yeah, I lived in a Honda Civic.
That was pretty recent.
Yeah.
2016. There was a part-time where I was in Vegas living in my Jeep.
Yeah. I lived in South
2016
Florida.
was rough, dude.
I was dating this really awesome chick. She had a room rental that was like smaller than the New York apartment, so about this big. Had like a twin bed, and we had like a Walmart plastic container thing that you could pull out. Like I think you're supposed to store your like groceries. I don't know how it goes, but there were socks and underwear in there, and it was really hard to find my underwear versus her underwear. It was like, oh, dude. Oh, they're
Babe, babe, is this your thong or is this my thong?
seriously, dude. It was a problem.
Babe, is this your cheetah print or my cheetah
No,
print?
I was lucky. She was a tiny little like 100-pound like Hispanic.
So you
chick,
like him tight, huh?
It was.
Tell me what Victoria's real secret is, huh?
But nah,
Victor.
it made it pretty easy because I took out the 2 thongs. I'd be like, oh, this one's clearly bigger. That's fine. Yeah. No, I don't really care if somebody went to school. I don't judge people. I judge people not really by what they know, by what I think their aptitude is to learn or to be good at something, but then more importantly by how they treat other people.
I love your
people
your take
always
on
treat
that.
me really well.
Right.
Like there's very people on the planet that go out of their way to disrespect me because I'm a good dude. I'm pretty decent at what I do, and like I have a lot of good
You're
relationships.
not giving them a reason to.
Yeah, I'm just a good dude. But when I see people disrespect, like bro, I was in restaurant business for 9 years. When people disrespect servers, I go off, bro.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
light up my best friend, and we're not best friends anymore. Type because the way you treat other
It's so
people that
uncomfortable.
don't have a value add, that's
That's
what
one of the most
shows who you
uncomfortable
are.
feelings in the world is when you're around somebody and they're like, I wouldn't even say complaining about food, but like perfect scenario. The other night we were all out and somebody we were with was just like, God, this is just so bad. The food's terrible. The service is terrible. Like, what the is going on? I told him, look around the room. Do you see a bunch of empty tables? No. Every fucking table is slammed. Do you see any of these servers out here sitting down or on their phone? No.
Yeah.
You see them all sweating their asses off. And then the server comes back and he's like, bro, this isn't what I ordered, man. I don't want this. And I go, you know what? I'll take it. Don't worry about it. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Server runs off. I looked at him. I said, bro, does he look like the fucking chef to you? What? Did he look like he fucking cooked that meal in front of you? No. Okay, then why are you complaining to him about the meal that was cooked when that's exactly what you asked for? It's exactly the way it came. It's exactly how it needed to be made. If you have a real problem, one, take it up with the chef. But secondly, learn your place. That you got something to say something to the manager, pull him aside respectfully, say, hey, look, it's not what I ordered. I want something different, or then take it around that route. But by belittling somebody on a public stage, you'll never get anywhere. And you know what that guy's going to do? He's going to go into the back. He's like, dude, table 56. Bring him his food. Or he's going to go and he's going to tell everybody in the back, bro, table 56 is just a bunch of dickheads. And now you are collectively added into that group of dickheads and you didn't say a fucking word. Yeah. Congratulations.
How
You
to
played
become a dickhead. Surround yourself with one dickhead.
That's it. Bro, it's like mold. You put one moldy apple next to a group of good apples, you're going to have a bunch of fucking
Can
dogs.
we talk about fucking berries and how you get berries, you think they look great, you get home, there's one of them, it's moldy, and the
And
next
they're
day they're all
toast.
moldy.
Toast.
That sucks.
I hate
Happened
that.
to me.
I hate that.
Happened to me the other day.
No. The worst is when you eat a strawberry because you look at one side, it's like kosher.
Oh, yeah.
And why is it hairy? Hey, like spit it out. You're like, it's blue. All right, I'm gonna die. I'm pretty sure that's why I hadn't got COVID though. You know, just eating molds.
We gotta wrap this up, man. It's been
Yeah,
a pleasure. Any
dude, for
closing
sure.
thoughts where people can find you?
At Bowsky on Instagram. I'm pretty accessible. I answer pretty much everybody. I run an online group called Moda Collective. It's just a group of entrepreneurs.
Spell it out. Tell them where to find it.
MODA Collective on Facebook.
There
It's
you
like
go.
9,000 entrepreneurs. There's some certed billionaires in
Nice.
there. There's guys that are just figuring it out, but it's really awesome. I mean, it's a great network, great resource. You know,
Beautiful.
pretty much anything you want to know is one message away.
Nice.
And
Love
then,
it.
Powerful.
Yeah, I mean, 1.2 billion.
All right, there we go. Sean, tell them where to find you.
Sean Mike Kelly.
I'm Ari Gold, ETH. Thanks for having us.
Peace.